Well, I was finally able to get done with the dozer and bring it down here to this project where the 350 and the 220 have been sitting. So it started clearing down here, and I swear it just started raining and raining and raining. But yeah, it hadn't rained in like 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to go down there with the 220 to the burn pile, rake around in it and see. It might be a touch dry to be burning, but I'm gonna try to get a little small fire going and take the dozer and start working on everything I cleared as far as grading it out and getting that dirt knocked down and spread out. So we got about a week and a half, 2 weeks on the 10-day forecast of nice dry weather. So I like to finish getting all that cleared. Everything's pretty much cleared, but burnt, graded out, stuff hauled up here, and the pond is going over here in that tall area right there of grass. So that's the plan for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, is to get this project wrapped up. So I came down here to the burn pile. I thought I was going to rake the ashes around and get a fire back going, but we have had so much rain that 2 foot of ashes are completely wet. Probably because we've gotten about 2 feet of rain. That's impressive. Okay, so I got a little fire going over there. Wind seems to be calm. Pretty good dew last night, so I'm gonna burn some of this stuff up. Even if I got to kind of sit down here and hang out with it, just to keep everything under control. I would like to get rid of as much of this stuff as I can. I'm gonna come over here. These are the last few dump truck loads that I hauled. Over here, I'm gonna try to get that stuff over here into the pile to kind of create a little cleanup around the pile, so I have access all the way around it. That way nothing can kind of jump into this and set this on fire and then spread over there into the woods. Just kind of gotta sit here and pick through it. Obviously it's dumped out at a different angle than what I'm grabbing it at. And it's nice and wet now from all the rain. But this stuff has dried out some. Why is this? This is very wet and muddy. We won't put that on the fire. We'll put it beside the fire so it can dry out some. Grab these dry sticks here and put those in the fire. Like so. All of this just needs to be pulled out. That last little bit, cleaning up. Got some dirt in it. Pick through it, get the drier stuff, throw it up here to burn. Alright, I'm going to sit here and pick through this some more and keep stacking it up here on the pile. When your little fire turns into a big fire, but when it's actually burning better than it has the entire time you've worked out here, I guess it's kind of hard to say no. I'm going to stack some more on there. For once, something actually goes pretty right down here. This stuff's really burning up pretty good here. So I'm gonna run around here and grab all the stuff along the edges that's not burning. See if I can't get it broke up and put over here in the fire. This stuff, I'm telling you, burns pretty good when you have it in a pile, but it does not spread through the pile at all. It will just burn a hole out in the center, and that's it. If you don't stay here and keep this stuff pushed up, it ain't gonna spread through the pile. Once the wind ain't blowing towards the subdivision over there, it's just like it was meant to be today. So I think the owner wants me to take all this, the ashes and stuff and all the mess I push up, and just put it in a big pile over there. Let it rot down so he can have some topsoil for the next years to come. Most people don't have spots to be able to pile stuff up like this, but if you do pile it up, let it rot down for a while, it does tend to make some decent dirt. But it's not going to be this year, and it's not going to be next year, but over time it will decay down pretty decent, especially as wet as it is. Stack this up. I'm going to go down to the end down there and see if I can't haul a few more loads of the brush down there from the end. I think there's a couple big trees and stumps. I need to go ahead and get those in the fire because they're going to take a while to burn down. There's a couple big trees I do remember I took down, and that stuff takes a little more time to burn up than these smaller sticks. Clear this up and get some room so I can actually dump the stuff out. That was my problem, is there's not a lot of room right here. I'm literally burning in a opening in the woods here. Alright, let me throw a little bit more on here, and I'm going to head back there to the back. Haul some brush up here. I did run the dozer for about 30 minutes working on some of that dirt over there. It seems to be doing decent as far as spreading out the way I want it to. It's still pretty wet, but it'll dry a little bit better being spread out. Well, everything seems to be burning good. I got a lot of that stuff put in the pile. I'm gonna let that burn down a little bit, make a little bit more room. I'm gonna go unload the dozer, come down here, maybe push a little bit, but main thing I'm gonna do is go down there and get the off-road truck and I think I have maybe 3 or 4 more loads of stuff. Go ahead and load that up and bring that down here, just so I can kind of get everything in the fire pile, since I had no intentions of getting all that burnt today. But if things go like they're going, I'm gonna get rid of that stuff, because the weather is starting to look pretty dry for the next week or so. Making my way down here. Barney's still sitting over here. It's probably been about 2.5 weeks since I've been down here. Look how fast the weeds and everything grow back. I'll come in here with the dozer and push all this up into piles, and I'll load it in the truck and take it up there to dump it out after everything's burnt. But yeah, I probably have, I forgot, there's a few loads left down there. I'll go ahead and start the dump truck up, grab this tree that fell down, and go over there and start hauling that stuff up there. Fire's burning down pretty good. Okay, let's load out some brush. Yep, just like I remember, there were a few big logs and stumps here, so I'll go ahead and get those loaded up. and hauled over there to the fire. Get those burning. This vine out of this tree. Like so. Let's get hung on everything. So much like roots and crap down here that it's so aggravating to clear this stuff. This cleanup is so hard. That's not quite going to fit in there. Let me go dump that. Big load of brush. See how bad the road tears up with this. Definitely a little squishy backing down here. Luckily this stuff doesn't weigh that terribly much. I'll come down here with the dozer and just push all this stuff up. We're just gonna scoop all this stuff up and just dump it in a pile and let it rot down. It's just so much sticks and pine straw. All the junk that was in those ditches, just it won't never burn. And it ain't worth the time to sit there and try to pick sticks out of it. So we'll pile it up. It'll rot down and be good topsoil one day. But this way I can at least keep an eye on the fire, hauling back and forth. And but yeah, calm wind today. Everything seems to be doing really good, so I don't really feel too worried about it. Still a lot of moisture in the ground. Even though the pine straw is drying out a little bit, it's still, everything's still pretty damp. But I want to keep this stuff stacked up and get rid of all this junk as fast as I can. There's actually water in the ditch now. Got to bring the grading bucket for the 220 so I can run up and down those ditches, slick those up. Looks like the fire's burned out a pretty good hole there in the pile. You kind of see down there, I started taking that dirt and pushing it back across the path because what had happened when they dug the ditch, they piled all the dirt up, and then somebody come through here, you know, 15 years ago, and after they logged this and cut a road in here and pushed all the dirt to there, and they just created a low spot for the road, and it never drained, and it's just a mess. Just a mess. I'm spinning. Push the old crap button. A little far over here, but whatever. It'll dump. Dumping it out. Oh, it definitely had some water in the bed. All right, let me go back. I think there's probably about 3 loads left. Get all those loaded up, brought down here, and go ahead and stack it on the fire. And I'll just kind of work on grading around here just so I can kind of keep it stacked up and keep an eye on it today. I really don't want to be out in the woods trying to stomp out any fires. Push up the fire here. Get all this stuff rounded up a little bit. Have a big stump in that first pile I need to grab. Can't get over there to it just yet. That one's gonna smoke a little bit. It's got some nasty stuff in it. I have gotten rid of a lot of brush today. This was completely full, and I've hauled 3 or 4 truckloads up here? I can't remember. Definitely making progress. Alright, I'm going to grab that pile and get it sorted through and thrown on the pile, and then jump back on the dozer and just keep running over all this, getting it graded out. And I've got to push up all that stuff down the path right there. So I've got a lot to do. Got the fire all stacked up. I'm gonna jump on the dozer and push a little bit more of that dirt away from that ditch, kind of start filling in that old road bed, just to keep an eye on that. But shoot, everything's doing really good. I'm happy with it. Time to clean up the shoulders of the road down here. Start pushing all this stuff into piles so that I can load it up with the excavator and haul it to the stockpile there with the dump truck. Pushing this, I'm kind of cutting a little bit of a crown on this road here so that everything will actually flow to the ditches. Because right now it's kind of lower at the center than the edges. If I cut the edges down, it'll drain to the ditches. Push all this up into a big pile. Load it out with 350 tomorrow. So much better with this stuff cleaned up. Just a little bit I've done, just getting everything nice and even. All this mess pushed in piles. Really tidies up the area. Couldn't get it graded out until I brought this dozer down here. I've got the other dozers, but this dozer is just so much easier to clean stuff up. Those big dozers are nice, but they don't find great stuff worth a dang. Well, I've been busy with the dozer. Got all that mess pushed into a pile there and over there, and I got the whole other road pushed up just the same. So under about 2 to 3 inches of just this black organic mat of mess is actually an old stone base. So they actually did put stone down from there all the way to the end of the road. So pretty much scraped it down to that. I didn't want to get all that mixed in with the topsoil and save whatever rock that he has down here. But yeah, pretty much got this ready to go. I'll bring the cleanup bucket for the excavator and just kind of run through there and slick that ditch up probably tomorrow and load all these piles up. Let's go check on the fire now. And that's going to be a wrap for the fire here today. I got all of everything that I cleared, kind of bladed off, pushed into piles. We're going to take all this once the fire's done, shove it all into a big pile right there and just let it stockpile and rot down into topsoil. I'll restack that in the morning. It's nice and calm now. It's starting to get a little bit dry in the woods, so I don't want to stir up a lot of sparks. I'll do it first thing in the morning when it's nice and dewy and get all that restacked and burning down. But a lot of that should burn down tonight. We'll check it out in the morning.